To you live from our Auckland Park studios, where the heartbeat of South Africa's news has pulsed for a whole 75 years. This is Prime News on 3, and here are your headlines.
Ramaphosa, by bringing in Kachalia through the back door without exercising Section 98 of the Constitution, which is clear that he must use one of the ministers in cabinet to preside over police, is flouting the law and a violation of the Constitution.
The Umkhonto weSizwe Party has launched an urgent application before the Constitutional Court, challenging President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision to place Police Minister Senzo Mchunu on special leave.
I don't think I'm in a better position to say she lied or she did not lie.
Higher Education Minister Nobuhle Kaban is at the center of a parliamentary storm after she failed to attend a crucial meeting of the Portfolio Committee. And the global community honors Madiba's legacy and values through volunteering and community service on this International Mandela Day. It's a Friday evening and time to dive into the stories that are defining our world. Good evening. I am Beki Mutumomolete and welcome to Prime News on 3. Join us for a dynamic weekly roundup of the top stories that are dominating the news both locally and internationally. Let's get into it. Here are your leading stories for tonight. The Umkhonto weSizwe Party has launched an urgent application before the Constitutional Court, challenging President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision to place Police Minister Senzo Mchunu on special leave. In papers filed before the Apex Court today, the party argues that the president's decision is irrational and inconsistent with his obligations as enshrined in Constitution.
We therefore demand the following, which we stated here: an immediate resignation, which he has not done; the immediate arrest of those implicated by General Mkhwanazi; the immediate firing of Senzo Mchunu. Ramaphosa, by bringing in Kachalia through the back door without exercising Section 98 of the Constitution, which is clear that he must use one of the ministers in cabinet to preside over police, is flouting the law and a violation of the Constitution. So he must fire Senzo Mchunu, because right now as it is, there's going to be 3 ministers of police.
Meanwhile, in the midst of all this, Mchunu maintains his innocence and says that he's ready to testify at the Judicial Commission of Inquiry.
I stand. I am innocent of those, and I deny them very strongly. But let's wait for the commission. And by the way, I must say that I've got lawyers, I've engaged lawyers on this matter, and by and large, the matter is on course. And I request that all of us in the country, including media, and I must say to you, my feeling is that media have already passed judgment without hearing the other side. But let's wait for the day.
Marching to the union buildings in Pretoria today, the party also gave President Cyril Ramaphosa a deadline to step down.
Deadline of resigning. As a constitutional delinquent, we have no option but to take this matter on an urgent basis to the Constitutional Court. Secondly, we're going to have a rolling mass action throughout the country as per Section 17 of the Constitution, and they'll be peaceful. But we're going to demonstrate that we are not for this government. We are not for a president that is a constitutional delinquent that doesn't even understand and totally dislodged from the pulse of the people. The people on a daily basis are living with fear. South Africans are dying. 64 to 72 people on a daily basis are dying in this country.
Meanwhile, the United Civic Movement has accused President Cyril Ramaphosa of compromising the country, engaging in criminal activity, and also call for his immediate resignation. The group were part of a march led by Defend South Africa and other civic organizations to the union buildings in Pretoria today. They claim that the poor state of affairs in the country, broken economy, and high unemployment, among others, is proof of Ramaphosa's failed leadership of the country.
by the people of South Africa. We as defenders say we are actually rejecting him because we feel that he was not chosen by the people. And on the ground we can see and hear that people are disgruntled, people are not happy about his performance as the President of South Africa.
The reason we're having this march is basically to force the President, to force Cyril Ramaphosa to resign as President of the country and head of state. And the reason we are calling for his resignation is that Cyril Ramaphosa has been engaged in criminal activities. We had the Phala scandal. He has been shielded from facing the law.
Members of Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Higher Education and Training have been left with more questions than answers after speaking to not one, but two individuals who were appointed as chairpersons of SETA Nomination Board. Higher Education and Training Minister Dr. Kaban was scheduled to appear before the committee today, but she snubbed MPs saying she has another engagement in the Eastern Cape.
Mutau's name was disclosed by Kaban to the Portfolio Committee weeks ago, in which she confirmed he was the chairperson of the panel that recommended the SETA board chairs to her. Mutau has previously said while he was asked to be the chair, nothing actually came of the process, meaning he had no involvement.
Also unaware, at least until today, I didn't know that somebody else had been appointed as a chair for this process.
Some MPs were at a loss for words. Others just shook their heads in disbelief. Even though the minister did not pitch for the meeting today, MPs relied on the testimony of Mutau and Mabuzan Gubane, the other panel chairperson, who shared their version of events. The contradictions were stark.
I don't think I'm in a better position to say she lied or she did not lie. But I did clarify my role. I don't think I will be doing justice to the honorable members to say what I don't know. But what I am saying about my role is the truth. I'm not lying.
Absence from the committee, MPs squabbled over whether she should be referred to the Ethics Committee or if they should continue to deal with it.
We are people who believes in the law. The minister was invited. We will invite her. We've sent a letter inviting her to Tuesday. I had applied for Tuesday. The House chairs approved the day for Tuesday. So the meeting will sit on Tuesday.
Abra Barbia, SABC News, Parliament.
Welcome back. Inmates from the Drakenstein Correctional Services facility in Paarl have spent their 67 minutes for Mandela by renovating an old building into a new one-of-a-kind Nelson Mandela Rules Training Academy. The Department of Correctional Services says the academy will be the first of its kind in Southern Africa.
This building, formerly a training centre, offering only programs for Drakenstein Correctional Services staff, will within months become a fully fledged, internationally supported training academy aimed at ensuring that the 122 Nelson Mandela rules are adhered to.
Those rules are part of the whole process of rehabilitation because we must ensure that there is a successful reintegration of the prisoners after their sentences. And that is what it is about.
This academy, it's 100% done by our in-house inmates, supported by our artisans that are officials within the department. So even the furniture, we're manufacturing these desks ourselves so that as they go out, they can open up businesses.
Inmates involved in the refurbishing of the building have described it as an honour.
It's very nice to be part of this project first. The other thing is this, the inmates have the opportunity to come here. They finish the level 4, then they do application at the building and training. I'm a facilitator there, I'm a qualified carpenter, and they get selected by management to come here. So we train them, we assist them with the members, you know.
The academy is set to officially open on the 11th of February next year, coinciding with Madiba's release from this facility in 1990. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Paarl.
As SABC News celebrates its 75th year, it does so at a time when the corporation's long-term financial viability remains uppermost in the minds of those who value the broadcaster for the role it's been called to play in a democratic South Africa. Initially funded by the National Party government during the apartheid years, effectively making it a state broadcaster, the SABC then went on to be funded by a combination of government funding, license fees, and advertising.
An appropriate funding model for the SABC is as topical today as it ever was, particularly from post-1994. It's been a burning issue for the corporation as the annual cost of its responsibilities as the national broadcaster have by and large overshot its revenue. William Bird of Media Monitoring Africa says in the mid-1990s, a commissioned research study came up with a funding model for the corporation, dividing it into commercial and public entities.
The idea put forward at the time was that the commercial entities would be there, public commercial, would be there to generate income, and they would help cross-subsidize the public service entities. From the time it started, it's never ever worked.
As SABC has tried to balance its expenses with its income, this has increasingly negatively impacted the corporation's service offering, with shows culled, limitations on the creation of new content, as well as the impact that this has had on the news division. Each year, when SABC News staff sought to negotiate a wage deal with the SABC, the issue of the broadcaster's sustainability would often be raised. While celebrating a wage settlement with staff in 2010, CEO at the time, Dalim Pofu, also raised the importance of a proper funding model for the SABC.
On the funding model of the SABC that we need to address collectively, where we need to march together if we have to, and say to Parliament and other institutions, there is something wrong with a funding model that is so skewed in favor of advertising and commercial funding.
To balance its books, the government agreed to give the national broadcaster a 3.2 billion rand bailout in 2019. This in a bid for SABC to settle its debts and stabilize its finances. One of the conditions of the bailout was for a turnaround strategy that would result in the retrenchment of over 600 employees by the end of March 2021. Fast forward to 2025 and there's still no comprehensive answer for SABC's financial sustainability, with the current communications minister deciding to withdraw the SABC bill, which in part spoke to funding towards the end of last year.
Right now, we need a credible funding model for the SABC. The bill as it is does not answer, in my view, the question around, a sustainable funding model that will empower the SABC to be on the path of that financial sustainability and suitability that we need.
Nompumelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Thank you for staying with us. Leading role players in the financial services sector believe South Africa has the potential to grow a service-based economy. A new industry initiative is looking to do just that as the country continues to grapple with high unemployment rates.
The Accredited Service Excellence Program upskills frontline staff and enhances customer experience. It also offers participants the unique opportunity to gain a formal qualification that can contribute towards a degree. Group Managing Executive of Personal and Private Banking at Nedbank, Igor Thomas, says there is potential in building a service economy in South Africa, not only through manufacturing.
Service economies are fantastic because you're investing in people, right? And you cannot put tariffs on people. If I am trained to be a good barista and I make coffee, or I'm trained in services in a restaurant and I take those skills and I export them elsewhere, how do you pass tariffs on that?
Given the pace of digital change in banking, Thomas says investing in soft skills is critical. Director at Henley Business School, John Foster Pedley, says as more organizations like call centers set up operations in South Africa, it is important to build a deep understanding of service excellence.
Imagine if you could get people to understand that service is doable that it creates some systems, it creates some learning that you can really put in place. And by getting better service, you progressively get people more willing to engage, but you take inefficiency out of the whole economy. You make people more productive. And by making it more productive, that stimulates growth, it creates jobs and opportunities.
Pastor Pedley says these types of corporate academic partnerships are also essential to reversing South Africa's dire educational outcomes. Nosipho Debe, SABC News, Johannesburg.
The Chief of the South African Navy, Vice Admiral Monde Lubisi, says National Treasury is compromising maritime security by underfunding the Navy. He was addressing the Joint Standing Committee of Defence on the state of the Navy, as well as delays in procuring spare parts for vessels and frigates.
A frank and candid assessment of the South African Navy and an admission that maritime borders are porous due to the underfunding.
National Treasury can't be allowed to be a super department or a government on its own over and above the current government. National Treasury has been ordered by the Commander-in-Chief to fund the SANDF to 1.7% of the GDP. We are mindful of the economic challenges that the country is facing, but that can be negotiable.
The committee has undertaken to intervene.
The President had indicated that there should be a minimum of 1.5% of GDP dedicated to the South African National Defence Force. That was an undertaking. And yet, in this austerity budget that the Minister of Finance presented, we actually got a real cut in terms of the finances.
Is being sunk. That Treasury does not take the department seriously. I would suggest, Chair and honourable members, that we escalate this to the Office of the President.
Honourable Hala, to get the Commander-in-Chief here into our committee to get to the bottom of the 1.5, sometimes 1.7.
The committee has undertaken to meet with National Treasury. Ulelani Philip, SABC News, Parliament.
Onto the field of play, Springbok Rugby takes centre stage on Saturday with two big battles anticipated. The senior Bucks are up first against Georgia, hoping to pit themselves against burly opposition, with scrumming first and foremost on their minds in Bombela. Later that evening, the junior Bucks will take on New Zealand in the final of the World Rugby Under-20 Championship.
Part of the reasoning for the Springboks' choices against Italy was to get the opponents to scrum against them. Against Georgia, they have an opponent that relishes the set piece, and the Boks have chosen this test to blood a brand new and uncapped front row. It's akin to throwing the three debutants into the deep end, but Bok captain Siyakolisi says it has to be done.
We don't look for ideal conditions to play. We use any conditions that we know, and they've been strumming against Ox in the week, Malcolm and all of them, so that's already tough enough. We try and make trainings as tough as possible. That's why the coaches are able to rotate players and give players opportunities.
The Springbok coaching staff is also waiting for the match against Georgia with heightened interest. Assistant coach Mzwandile Stick says they are keen to test out a few things against an opponent that also prides themselves on their forward play.
Even from the beginning of the year, we said we even though we're still number one in the world, we still want to build our game and keep getting better, because we can't be too comfortable with where we are.
The Boks have stressed that the test against Georgia is not about underestimating the opponent and everything to do with matching like for like and using that resistance to make sure set-piece play is watertight. Meanwhile, the junior Springboks and New Zealand will face each other in the final of the World Rugby Under-20 Championship in Rovigo in Italy. It's the biggest stage for the junior Boks to be introduced to the All Blacks in what will be a recurring rivalry for many of the players in years to come. The final takes place at 8:30 on Saturday night. Simon Burke, SABC News.
Former Orlando Pirates captain Lucky Likhwati used his foundation to make Mandela Day special for the residents of the Reuven Old Age Home in Turffontein, south of Johannesburg. The Lucky Likhwati Foundation, known to empower and unearth football talent in communities, spent their 67 minutes partnered with the Southdale Mall and its tenants to give back and make a positive impact.
Lucky Likhwati was popularly known as Captain My Captain of Orlando Pirates Football Club. Arguably his Pirates' most successful captain, having captained them to 6 major trophies in 2 seasons from 2010 to 2012. After his retirement in 2016, Likhwati established his foundation with an aim to reduce alcohol and drug abuse, empowering the youth to participate in sports. And this year, the Lucky Likhwati Foundation spent their 67 minutes in style.
We're here to spend our Mandela Day, 67 minutes with them. And you know why I choose this place? Because of, the seasons. It's where I got my blessings. Yeah, these people, I think, they're the ones that they supported me when I was still a player.
Caroline Mwasheng, who has been at the facility for 19 years, says that they had already started with their 67 minutes for Madiba.
We did our 62nd yesterday. The old ladies here needed about 170 beanies, which we divided to Baragwana, cancer, and in the ward of the cancer children.
The elders from Reuven Old Age Home were pampered, getting fresh haircuts and their nails polished. Likhwati has been giving back to the schools and communities since he left football to contribute to positive change in the community. Mahudi Malabo, SABC News in Turffontein, Johannesburg.
It is now time for storm tracking and sunshine spotting right under our African skies. Our weather whisperer is ready to tell your forecast. Coming up next.
Good evening and welcome. Let's take a look at what to expect weather-wise for tonight as well as tomorrow. Clear skies over the Northern Cape, but with the passage of a cold front leaving behind it partly cloudy skies over the southern, central, as well as the eastern parts of the country, where isolated showers and thunder showers are expected over the northern and eastern parts of the Free State, over KwaZulu-Natal and the eastern parts of the Eastern Cape, but scattered showers and rain along the coastal regions of KwaZulu-Natal, and then just some light precipitation over the eastern part of Mpumalanga. Tomorrow, starting off with early morning fog patches over the western part of the Western Cape, along the escarpment of KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, and in places over Limpopo. It will be fine over the Northern Cape and Western Cape, otherwise partly cloudy skies over the central, northeastern and eastern parts, with isolated showers and thunder showers over the southeastern parts of the northwest into Gauteng, the Free State, Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal, and the extreme eastern parts of the Eastern Cape. Tonight, South African Weather Service warning of damaging waves along the western, southwestern, as well as the southern coastal regions, possibly leading to difficulty in navigation at sea. Tomorrow, disruptive rainfall possibly leading to localized flooding along the southern coastline of KwaZulu-Natal. Overnight temperatures seeing down to -1, 3 degrees in Bloemfontein, Appleton. Expecting an overnight low of 2. Tomorrow, a warm day with a high of 25. It will be cold in Komani with 16, 20 in Richards Bay, while 14 is your maximum in Bethlehem. Musina, a warm day with a high of 25. That's your weather. Good night.
That's all from us for tonight. Your weekly roundup has been signed, sealed, and delivered courtesy of our newsroom. We wish you a phenomenal weekend ahead. And in honor of Nelson Mandela Day, I leave you with this. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. From myself and the team, stay ahead. Good night.